Our city requires building permits for many projects that in some other cities wouldn't be required. For instance, we should not require a building permit to homeowners who wish to remodel or update their house. This is especially true for projects that don't increase the home's footprint. The same should be true for commercial properties, whether residential or retail or manufacturing, that don't exceed a certain threshold of investment, say $100,000. Instead, City Hall should set up racks of brochures in our hardware and home improvement stores to help homeowners and building owners. The racks would have sections like electrical, plumbing, framing, etc. Within each section would be brochures on common mini projects like how to change a light switch or how to install a toilet. The brochure would have both copy and diagrams and would explain the city code involved and the reason for the code. There should also be a help number for questions. City Hall should be an ally, not an adversary, of someone who would like to improve their property. That's part of a whole new approach. Why do we penalize people who do good things in our city with some sort of a fee? Is this smart? Does licensing barbers and plumbers and cab drivers and then charging them a fee for the license somehow protect the public? Why do we fine people who want to build in our city? When we charge people for doing good things, we will probably end up with fewer good things done. The purpose of these fees primarily is just to raise money for City Hall. But at what cost? Most of these fines and fees, as well as most licenses required in order to be in business in our city, are nuisances which irritate our business owners and really raise very little money for City Hall. What's the point? I think the point is that that's the way we've always done it. That's what other cities do. And I guess it shows who's boss. Imagine what headlines about Peoria would be written if we decided to get rid of these irritants, getting rid of anti-business, anti-citizen fees and licenses. That's part of a whole. Well before, and certainly during the course of my campaign, I've spoken with many business owners, many construction contractors and subcontractors who've worked with City Hall as they tried to remodel or expand or build anew. Almost universally, they've told me it's very difficult to work with City Hall's codes and code enforcement people. They feel the codes are too stringent, and depending on the neighborhood, it's sometimes impossible to comply. They also complain that the inspector number 1 might approve something that inspector number 2 tells them they must tear out. So sometimes enforcement is arbitrary. Furthermore, they tell me that compared to other nearby towns, Peoria requires more inspections, and that sometimes work must stop until an inspector can get their job into the schedule. Liquor is another heavily regulated business. If one wishes to sell liquor away from a bar or a restaurant, say in an enclosed space on the riverfront for a class reunion, or at a church hall or a wedding reception, one must get a liquor license and pay a fee. If instead one opts for an open bar, no license is required. Opening a business in Peoria is a bit of a hassle. I'm told it can take 2 weeks to get the job done. People who want to open a business in Houston, Texas seem to be able to take care of it in 1 day. Why do we make things so difficult here? Let's review our building permit policies, our fees and licenses, and our regulatory climate. Let's adopt a whole new approach.
John Kelly, at-large candidate for Peoria City Council.